Found it.
Yay! Okay. Oh, okay. I know why they chose that. Why we suggested him. He marked the graves at the Lutheran Cemetery.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, yeah. Just some options, I guess.
I knew some of them. I didn't know all of them, and I don't know some of them well enough to say whether they'd be good or not good.
Okay, so
Not a real big comment.
Dr. Vanver, he's a retired
Yep.
dentist. Okay, you know
And then,
Chanel.
Yep, Chanel and
Kirk.
Cole.
He,
Snyderman, I'm not sure. Is that a son of Daryl?
Yes.
Okay.
He's married to Sterling Kathy Bruin's daughter.
Okay.
Dr. Michaels, the eye doctor.
Yeah.
They bought Ron Rensing's brick house across from his shed.
Okay. Okay.
His wife is a teacher.
What's her name again?
Sarah.
Name? We were just talking about her. Oh.
Okay.
Good to know.
Thanks.
Oh, it's 4:31.
Oh.
As soon as Pete gets back in his chair. And I looked a little more critically at the job description for city manager.
Okay.
There were a few things there. The biggest one probably is on the one page it says we have a population of 5,512. On page 2 it says 5,312.
Oh.
5,512 is correct according to Google.
Okay. Yes, that sounds right. Okay.
We are ready to begin, so if we could ask you to take your seats. And we will begin by standing for a moment of silence, and we'll follow that with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Could I have roll call, please?
Brad Hint. Here. Tom Eggers. Here. Pete Hamill. Here. Chantal Ostra. Jeff Wagner. Here.
All right, next time up is the agenda approval. I'll take a motion for that, please.
So moved. Support.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Hint. Aye. Wagner.
Aye.
Hamill.
Aye.
Eggers.
Aye.
Item 3 is the public forum. Is there anyone wishing to address the council at this time? Yes, sir. Please step to the mic, state your name.
I've talked to the chief of police. I've talked to Todd Yule, and I have a form that I presented to Todd that has not been given to the mayor yet, I understand. And my concern is 6th Street. I think it should be slowed down, like 99 to 98% of the school districts are, is 15 to 20 miles an hour. I think for sure 23rd Avenue should be 15. There's no speed limit on 19th Avenue. I guess that means wide open. And there's no, there is speed, but, and then also Union I'm not familiar with, Norman College. I had a lady give me the finger one day. I don't think that's very nice, but they're there at 2 o'clock in the afternoon backing up to pick up their kids for school already. I come off 18 by mistake, and I took that street because I live down when I hit the 23rd, and you can't get by. You can't meet somebody on that street, so that's where I got the finger. Anyway, that's beside the point. But no, I really think that that street should be slowed down 23rd from Washington Avenue to 23rd, and then the rest of them to Highway 18. I had last week, and I had a painter by my place. He said if I didn't know better, he says, I feel like I'm working on Highway 18. I mean, you guys can't believe it. I mean, you gotta live on that street to realize it. And like the other morning, they must have had weightlifting, and between 6:30 and 6:45, you actually thought they opened up a cage and left a bunch of wild animals out. That's all I have.
This is which street now that you're talking about? Is it 6th Street where the weightlifters were talking? You're talking?
Well, they come off the high school. They don't off that street. There's no speed limit on that street. They come tearing around. Of course, they don't have to stop. Come around the curve and they head to the east.
Okay.
Yep. And it's. My great grandkids come over. That's strict orders. You do not play in the front yard. Because I had it one time with one of them, a ball fell out. The other one was going to hurry up and grab it, and just like that.
And you live on 6th Street?
Yes.
Okay.
And here a while back, I was telling Todd and the chief of police, I went to my great-grandson's ball game. I come down 6th Street from the east going to the west. I put my signal light on to turn in my driveway. And next thing I know, I got a car right alongside me. He's going to pass me, and I got my doggone signal light going to turn in my driveway. So that's my complaint.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Daryl. Yes, please.
Yeah. And my apologies to Daryl. He did present me with a letter, and I told him I would get it out to mayor council, and I failed to do so. So anyways, my apologies, Daryl. Thank you.
So you'll send that out?
I will get it. Yes, I will get it to you. Yes.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
So do you think it's a speed limit issue or an enforcement issue?
You take it for what it's worth.
What's that?
You take it for what it's worth.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. Because it's just not only the kids. Watch the mothers in the morning. I mean, it takes a lot of talent to have a cell phone in your hand, driving, going like this because they don't know what a sun visor is. It's not if that accident is going to happen someday. It's when it's going to happen. I'm serious. Just like, I got a bunch of things.
If you're going to continue, then you should be back at the mic, please.
I have at least 10 signatures from that street of people have been complaining. And I took it upon myself. Tom Morley, there's a good example right there. When I first moved into town, there was a car that was barreling down to the east, hit Tom Morley's mailbox, flipped the car upside down. And Rod Funker, next behind me here, I went outside and I said, "What are you guys looking at?" "Well, there's a car upside down the street." I says, "Walk along with me." I says, "Well," and what I described the car as we were walking up there. He said, "How'd you know that?" I said, "You never seen that crazy fool come past here." I mean, you can't be going 25 miles an hour with a car upside down in the street.
Oh, all right.
So, okay, thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Any other public comments? Have we had any written?
No.
Okay. All right, then let's move on to the consent agenda. I'll take a motion for that to be approved.
So move. Support.
Roll call, please.
Wagner.
Aye.
Hint.
Aye.
Eggers.
Aye.
Himmel.
Aye.
Okay, next item up is under new business, 6A, the engineering contract on 19th Avenue. Did you want to speak to that, Todd?
Sure can. I mean, this is, Landon's in the room too, if you have questions for him with BEI. This is for the reconstruction of 19th Avenue essentially from East 4th Street, south to East 6th Street, and then a little bit, east and west of East 6th Street at the intersection there. This proposal would take us from design all the way through completion of construction. Total fees would be $86,500.
All right, any
Has
questions?
there been any insight as to whether that parking along the pool frontage there is needed or not?
Yeah, so it's something that Landon and I talked about when we looked at the road. It's something I also reached out to school superintendent Corey Meyer and had a discussion with too. At this point, it's in, but I would say whether or not it stays in depends upon future conversations yet.
Okay.
It's a little narrow. I don't necessarily love that it's straight in. So if it stays to offer more parking there should be modifications to it at a minimum. Of course, all that comes at a cost too.
Yeah. It's gonna cost to take it out or redo it either way, so,
It costs a lot more to put it back in.
okay.
Yeah, removing it would cheapen the project. But
Okay.
I don't know if that means it makes the project better yet. I guess I give us some more time to deliberate, and if you have an opinion one way or the other strongly, let us know sometime here in the next few weeks.
Well, I think it's fair to say people use it quite regularly.
Yeah, I was
so
gonna say.
it has value, so.
Have value, because everybody uses it.
Everything we can do cheaper, but we need to do things the best we possibly can.
If the council feels strongly that we leave it, then we'll
Well, and
quit the conversation of what we want to do, and we'll just leave it in. That's okay.
it does present some awkward situations when somebody backs out of one of those parking places the way it is.
Yeah, one idea would potentially to be make it diagonal parking.
Yeah.
That's what I would suggest, put diagonal in there.
So is the 31-foot the same width as what's there now,
Yes.
or is it wider?
No, it's 31.
All right. Any other questions? If not, I'll take a motion to approve that contract.
So move.
Support.
Last chance for this questions or comments. Roll call, please.
Eggers,
Aye.
Kent,
Aye.
Hamel,
Aye.
Wagner.
Aye.
All right, then the next up is the frontage road, similar situation, contract for that. Any comments on that one?
Yeah, just that, this is the two frontage roads, right? It's the one, north of the high school, and then the one I'll call north of People's Bank, west of Fairway. It would be asphalting, both of these roads. The scope already changed a little bit from the preliminary, just as Landon and I looked at the job. We're looking at potentially, it's not a guarantee yet, but potentially doing some storm sewer work, on the west one, the one north of the high school, maybe getting rid of some of that steeper ditch that's harder to maintain by putting some culvert in that ditch and leveling it out. It obviously changes the scope from what we originally looked at and also brings the price tag up, but I thought no better time to look at it than now if we're making other improvements. Total services would be, for these two would be $74,800.
Go ahead.
I noticed that curb and gutters, that's not part of this, right?
No, it's not. It's, it would be, what is proposed here is taking the granular surface and going back with asphalt surface, 5 inches of asphalt, and then just similar drainage to what we have now. If you recall, some time ago when we brought these projects to you, we had a concrete option and we had an asphalt option, and the feeling we got from the council at that time was, if we're going to approve these roads, let's do it with asphalt, not with concrete. I mean, we could still do curb and gutter, but then the scope's surely going to get big.
Well, I just noticed that we've done curb and gutter across the highway with concrete. And so the frontage road over by the funeral home,
Oh, that was
just to the east of it.
right. But to my knowledge, and I could be wrong, but to my knowledge, that was done originally for a very, very long time ago.
Right.
Well, what's the rationale behind it, I guess? Since we're talking about it, so.
What's the rationale of not doing it to these?
Yeah, why wouldn't we want to do that? Because won't storm drainage be an issue? I mean,
Not if you leave the active ditches where they are. And I guess the feeling was, let's take the one west of Fairway. While there's an active ditch there, it's a moderately sloped ditch. It drains well. It doesn't seem to cause a lot of issues. All their yards still have positive drainage down to it. It's maintainable.
and snow removal won't be an issue.
Should not be. It should be easier than it is now. I mean, now it's gravel, so especially some of the early snows before the ground is froze, those things are really hard to keep decent at that time. Plus, we end up plowing a lot of gravel off into the ditches.
Sure.
And then you got to get it back out. This will be a substantial improvement. We can look at a more robust project if you so choose.
Landon, do you have any idea what that would add to the cost? Would it double it? Come to the mic, please, if you. I mean, we're not gonna hold you anything, but just, you of all people would have a better
Sure.
idea of it than any of us.
Yeah, if you kept an asphalt section, you could still have concrete curb and gutter on the one side. If that were the case and the road width still remains the 18 feet, forgive me, I might be wrong, but around 18 feet wide, you wouldn't double it. It'd maybe be 1.5 times.
So it's significant.
But now if you go to a full concrete curb and gutter roadway with, integral curb and gutter poured with the road, yeah, then you could probably double it.
And what's the budget, we think?
Right now,
Yeah. Well, double what? So what are we
Just
talking?
under 600.
So we go to 1.2.
Yeah. Actually, 630, including their services.
Okay, but there is no storm sewer there now,
We have active ditches right now in all the locations.
and if you went to curb and gutter, would you have to go to storm sewer?
Well, you could exit the water in one location. You'd probably have some storage, you'd have some collection devices.
yeah, you would either have to have some storm sewer to collect it and then outlet in the ditch, or you'd have to have curb cuts to let the water out. Really, the end result there is the same overall aesthetic. You still have open ditches.
And if I recall correctly, when we brought you the concrete option, and at that time, when you give us direction to stick with asphalt, the concrete option was still not curb and gutter. It was just paved versus a PCC versus asphalt.
Yep.
Todd, you and I talked about this, and I can't remember, but, so I don't mean to put you on the spot here, but the road to the west of Fairway, our city code says if you connect to a paved street, you have to have paved driveways. And we don't have that on that one section, so what are we gonna have to do for that?
Yeah, I don't know that our city code specifies specifically paved street, paved driveways. I think I told you that that's always been a preference of mine. There's a lot of granular driveways in town in certain areas. Our code does specify that a parking space is either asphalt or cement. I think that's the difference there. At this point, I don't know that we would force those properties to put in paved driveways. Some of them have it already. I can tell you, I got a call from one of them already this week asking if they would share with me the name of the contractor that was going to asphalt it because they wanted their driveway done at the same time. So some of them are clearly already thinking about it.
As part of this, will there be an approach at all to the driveways, or will it just be straight? And
I guess we haven't talked about that yet, but we could make a little approach into each one to give them a header to take off from.
Yeah, that could be added. I think,
Would you recommend it?
I mean, it's always great when you can keep gravel off your roadway. If you give a paved approach, that doesn't stop it entirely. If you see paved approaches with gravel behind it and the gravel still runs out onto the roadway, but it helps some of the track out.
So we get a longer life on the street then, or what's the help?
I mean, I think it's just maintenance. I mean, have less gravel and sediment track out on the roadway.
Yeah, I would argue it's safer because you have less gravel on this traveled portion. I would also argue that you do extend the life because you don't have those rocks beating down on top of the asphalt.
And so what would you recommend for that approach be? How long?
10 feet, 8
Yeah,
to 10 feet.
10, 20. I mean, 10 doesn't, if we have trails that go through gravel driveways, save 20 feet on either side of the trail.
Yeah. But irregardless in this scenario, I likely wouldn't recommend that you go past the right-of-way line. Because then we're improving privately owned property. So we would have to look at that, or I would suggest we look at that before we just did it.
Well, I'd like to see those numbers.
Well, I mean, you can still approve, if you so choose to, you can still approve the contract as it is. We could look at some of this stuff as we go. There's always a final plans and specs review by the city council looking for their approval in the end.
Yep.
And knowing ahead of time if this is some of the stuff you want, we can certainly include it at that time. If that's what you're getting.
That's what I'm getting at, yes.
Yeah, some of the finer details won't necessarily change the engineering contract that's being considered.
All right, any other questions?
No, I would move that we approve this contract.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there support for that?
Support.
Take your pick.
Jim?
All right, roll call, please.
Wagner,
Aye.
Kent,
Aye.
Eggers,
Aye.
Hamel,
All right, moving on then to reports. Anything from you, Todd?
Oh, you've got it.
Oh, that's right, we got one more thing here, sorry. The city manager profile that has been put together. I assume you've all had a chance to look at it. There are a few things I didn't look at it with a critical eye until Ann started asking me, and then I looked through it again. The biggest thing is on page 2, it shows population at the top of the page of 5,312. Elsewhere in the document, it says 5,512, and according to Google, that's what they're showing for us. So I think that's the correct number, is 5,512. They refer to NCC as NICC. We're going to change that. And as long as we're changing, Dort College is now Dort University.
I had a couple of other things. One was when they were talking about the educational institutions, they mentioned the public schools, but I would also mention the Christian school. St. Pat's is no longer, so. And then they talk about railroads. They mentioned the east-west one, but there's no reference to the Union Pacific main line going through town. And list of churches is not real comprehensive, and maybe that's okay, I don't know.
I counted 12, but I don't know what's.
I don't think they listed all of them.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we ought to do that.
Yeah,
Says 10 active congregations.
yeah.
Another thing came up earlier today, the text message or an email. It says that city residence is preferred. Don't we require that they live within 2 miles of the city? City manager.
I thought too that residency was required.
I don't think it's 2 miles. I thought it was required.
In the city? Okay.
Mhm.
I didn't have a chance to look at that.
That's on page 11.
I think there's 3 positions. I think that one, mine, and potentially his.
I think so too.
I'd like to think they'd want to live in the community that they,
What's that?
I would think they'd like to live in the community that they're managed.
Yeah.
I think it needs to be required.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
I think it does say in the,
Job description.
yes, I think I remember it being in there that it was required.
That paragraph that talks about the hospital and schools and stuff, I felt in general that could have been fleshed out a little bit more, mentioning the village and the hospital maybe by name. We're unique. We have a number of major employers in town, manufacturing facilities that are locally owned, which also is kind of unique and fun. So I just felt that it was very generic when we described our city in that paragraph about what we had to offer, or what we were, who we were, or what we were. So.
Okay, I have a couple of things, if you don't mind. Sorry. Under the organization, where they're listing like the boards and commissions, I think she kind of took that from our website, and she has in there the Emergency Services Task Force. It hasn't met since 2022. Are you okay if we would have that removed?
In the chart you're talking?
No, it's up above that on page 3 in the organization paragraph
Okay, there we go.
there. Yes.
Yeah, I'd say strike that.
Yes,
And then they also don't mention the trail, the museum, or the pavilion.
yeah, I would add,
Okay?
I think.
Okay.
And the salary range, that is within budget, correct? What we have listed there, 130 to 140?
Yes, that is within budget. The prior city manager would have been making $139,000.
Okay. I think
So there was a figure of 150 out there from our HR folks. That was not used to budget at that time.
are you
I'm
recommending
asking
we?
the question. You just said we budgeted for 130 to 140. But but 150 was also put in by HR as
Yeah,
a range.
her range was much more broad. Her range actually was 105 to 157.
Right.
So it's a much broader range. We could sit here and talk about the pros and cons, but I think it ought to be broader than it is.
Broader than 130 to 140?
Than the 130 to 140.
Yeah.
So I would certainly,
If I remember correctly, 150 was kind of the standard upper end of what.
So are you
managers are
saying
making for
you would
this
rather
type
see it
of-
105 to 150?
yeah,
That was, I mean, if that's what we had before?
I mean, it's just a range. It's not
Right.
like we're locked into anything, but I'd be fine with that. And that's subject to whatever.
She did tell me that when she inserted the wage, she was just putting some numbers in based on the previous city manager. She really did not know what any of you really wanted. So,
Okay.
But I would like to see that expanded. That's all right.
Any other feelings on that? If you're not against it, then I would say expand it. We still have room for negotiation then.
Okay.
Anything else?
okay, I just want to make sure the timetables. Because in their actual proposal, first of all, they have that September 22nd is a closed session during a regular city council meeting for selection of candidates for virtual interviews. That is not one of our regular council meetings. That is on a Tuesday. I have a conflict. I don't know if you guys would be available on September 23rd for that.
Because the September meetings are what, September 2 and 16?
Yes, I believe so.
Well, she's a week off there, and 2,
Well, and you can't really go sooner because they propose
Right.
to advertise
Right.
through September 19.
so
23rd would work for me.
Okay.
that's a Tuesday?
September 22nd that they have in here is a Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
So if we could move it to the 23rd.
That would work for me.
A
Okay.
special meeting then.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, Jeff is a yes.
Okay. And then,
Works for them.
yeah, okay. And then the interview situation, which is,
September 26th.
that is a Saturday. So I just want to make sure everybody's ready or aware that that is a Saturday. And then the actual interviews are October 9 and 10, which is a Friday and a Saturday. I just didn't want anybody to have a conflict.
The 26th, I have a conflict. I'll be out of town, but you can meet without me.
And when's the next one?
October 9 through 10.
The 26th, Brad, is virtual.
So maybe you
so-
could join via Zoom?
Probably could.
Okay, then I don't know what you've got planned, but just an option.
Buying market,
Okay,
so
I'm supposed to be gone the 26th also, but I
Okay.
can
Okay.
I think we also, just throwing this aside, need to look at maybe changing the technology so we can get more than one Zoom for our meetings going forward. The long-term planning.
Okay. That's a discussion for another day.
Yeah, but I mean, we can do a Teams meeting and have as many as you want, yeah.
Seems to be great.
All right. Anything else?
Yeah, the only other thing I have is I was looking because the city is responsible for site visits, ranging tours, public receptions. I've already checked with the pavilion. That is not available for a public reception. So if anybody has any other thoughts on that or who could give the tours when it comes to that time, I know it's a ways out, but I just would really like to start thinking about that.
We had council members do it the last time.
Okay. I thought Tricia did it and you did, okay, okay, perfect. And Tanya said she'd help too, so.
And when was the, tell me when was over there?
October 9th and 10th.
And you said the pavilion was not available?
It is not. She has weddings Friday and Saturday.
We have a room right up over here behind us.
That was my next thought. Somebody did mention, we had the school open house, maybe the school commons to showcase that. Just a thought, if we could work that out with
Could check
Mr.
and see
Meyer
if
or
that would be
something.
available, yeah.
Okay. Probably be a football game that night. Actually, they're out of town that night, so that's okay. Okay. That's all I have.
Okay.
So if we're all agreeing on these dates, could you send out invitations, like an Outlook invitation to us?
Yes. Yep.
For all of us?
Yep.
And then that'll put it on my calendar a lot quicker. So,
Okay.
thanks.
Would you say that these dates are set in stone or tentative? If we only
That is
have one
their
or two
schedule.
applicants,
Right, that is their schedule and it is on this profile. So I think it's pretty, I think that is what they will tell them.
but
to
if we were to
plan
get
for.
to, application deadline of September 19 and we only have one or two
Sure.
applicants at that point, are we willing to cut it off at that point and move forward, or do we want to extend the
Open it
application
back
time
up
period?
again.
That'd be a great conversation for you and the management company you hired.
Okay, I will talk to Marquita about that, but
Yeah.
I have no idea what to expect. I mean, this is a pretty tight timetable. We're talking September 19.
Yeah, it
That comes
Mhm.
pretty quick.
Mhm.
I would just say is just,
That's a month from today,
I think they all were tight.
and this isn't out yet.
Well, do you want us to, before they send this out, do you want us to ask them to revise it with more space in there? Or do you want to contact them and ask them to revise it?
I think I'll ask her that. If they're comfortable with, I mean, they're doing most of the work with this, but,
I think they understand that we expect to have a good amount of applicants. And if they don't think, if they thought this was too quick to do that, I'm not sure why they would put it out. I don't think there's any question that they understand we want several applicants, So I would hang tight until see what they come up with. And if we have to manage it, depending upon, we manage it.
I don't think it hurts to ask whether it's too tight. If we have to go back to market and extend the date, it never looks good when you're saying that we didn't get enough applicants, so let's give them more time. And people are going to question why they didn't apply in the first place. We do have Labor Day weekend in that 4-week schedule also that can kind of distract sometimes people's.
this isn't their first rodeo, so it probably works. But sitting here looking at it and how fast the calendar flips over, I'm thinking, wow, we're going to be booking right along here.
I think this is about the time frame that the last time we did it.
Yeah.
The only thing that I looked at that time frame because I was going back through my notes of the other stuff. I think with Hinson, they took more time in between the virtual interviews and verification, credit checks, things like that, which they do that before the the in-person interviews.
Yeah, 'cause
So they had more time in there.
didn't he kind of do a pre-interview and then he brought them recommendations to us? And I don't think we did a virtual one.
Well, oh, no, I'm thinking of the one the time before.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one we did a
That one we did do virtual.
I would leave it up to them. They know what they're doing. The only thing I wondered is if we have enough time between getting this out and that September 19th.
Right, I think their intention is to put this out tomorrow.
Mhm.
Okay.
With these changes.
I
Yeah.
leave it up
Yeah.
to them.
So
I guess they've got a few ideas on people already, so.
probably,
They're actually in the process of doing this for 2 other towns that I know of with
Okay.
about the same deadline.
you know, they did it for Orange City. We had good reports from Orange City.
Yeah.
So we're probably all right, but it's just, we'll see what happens. So with all the changes that have been discussed here, do we have a motion to approve?
I guess the only other thing I thought that maybe we should at least talk about, there's not a lot of reference here about economic development and the SCDC's relationship. Should there be more of a mention of that in this advertisement? Is that something we can firm up when we get to there?
It was addressed. I can't find it right now looking. Do you remember where that was, Pete?
I feel like it's in here.
While you're looking that up, let me just throw the monkey out of the corner. We keep circling around the economic development, the SCDC, the role. And we think we might want to change that. What are we going to do to determine that? It's kind of a mess of a situation, and
Well, I don't think it's something we're going to solve in
I don't either, but
this
we,
meeting.
in 30 days, we're going to be interviewing these people, or potentially interviewing these people without any
That's
idea what
why
our
I say
vision
that
is.
there certainly ought to be a heads up that they are a critical part of that process.
So something like experience in economic development or past experience. What is it you want to say?
I'm sure
I
she
agree
has
with
some
you, but I,
verbiage she could put in there.
So under qualifications, I don't know what page that is, but states that the managers should possess strong communication, interpersonal skills, as well as exceptional financial management, planning, and economic and organizational development capabilities.
Okay.
There's also a little talk on page 8 too about communications, economic development, organizational development.
Okay. Then it's covered. I mean, can't end up with a 40-page document here. But it is something we have to deal with, but not necessarily on this communication.
but time is not our
It's in
friend.
there, so that's fine.
It is addressed in there. I think we hit it in the questions when we get to the interviews, the virtual or in-person interviews, and stress the importance of working with Economic Development Office here.
I think we need to, at some point, define what that means. It's a lot of good words, but the monkey's in the corner, and we're frustrated by economic development. I think each one of you said that to me one way or another, and yet we don't really know what we're going to do about it. And that's frustrating for me as we're trying to look at pay plan and everything else we're trying to do, that we don't want to really say. I think we need to talk about changing the relationship with the SCDC and whatever that might mean.
Well, that might be, but we have to have communications with the board and
Well, I guess what I'm saying here is I think the board needs to know we need to have communications on that.
that's fine, but I'm not sure we're going to do that in the next few weeks.
Yep.
And I agree that it needs to be attended to, but there are probably diverse opinions on what that looks like, but
I agree.
I think it'd be interesting to understand what the pool of applicants have to offer in that area too, just to bring a little more perspective on what they've done in their past, in their careers in relationship to that. I think we can learn something hopefully through this process as well. That will guide us in that discussion too.
Yeah.
So.
We have money that we're not spending right now on city manager. We're not spending our full budget there. And I don't know if there's any consulting, any whatever out there that could give us better input into successful economic development relationships with cities or roles. So we've been talking about this since last year, and we really aren't any closer to addressing the problem that we all feel there is there. So I'm going to drop it at that, but.
well, like I say, it's something we have to look into. I've talked to 3 different towns so far, and so, but I'm not going to sit here tonight and try and go through that.
No. All right. So are we ready somebody ready, do we have a motion for this?
No.
Okay, we need a motion then to approve this document, this application, not really application, it's Sheldon
I
City
move
Manager.
that we accept the document per the changes discussed.
Do we have support for that?
Support.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Ken?
Aye.
Eggers?
Aye.
Hamel?
Aye.
Wagner?
Aye.
Todd, anything else from you tonight?
No, nothing further.
Ange?
No, thank you.
Chief? Anything from you?
I didn't know if anyone still wanted copies. I did assemble quite a few copies of different ordinances regarding scooters and electric bicycles and stuff. I started printing them off to give everyone, because that's what I normally do, but that was turning into a lot of paper. So I didn't know if you'd like me to email copies of that or something, or if you'd like to look at them, I have them, or if we want to hold off on that issue or whatever your appetite is for that.
Why don't you email them?
Sure.
Then we can get started.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
Can you include some recommendations on what you're seeing there?
Like recommendations from me?
Yes.
Sure. Is that, I was actually going to email you all this, and then I didn't know if that violated any open meetings or anything. Can I email everyone all together? Is that kosher?
Blind copy them so that they respond. They'll respond to each other.
Okay. I will email them out, and I'll let you guys kind of know what.
We probably could just protect ourselves by starting the next agenda and put it in the packet for the next agenda, and there would be there's no reason that the public can't see it, right?
No, I just didn't know before.
Well, there
I
are
put
other
them.
cities' policies
Right.
or ordinances that
Yeah, I just
it's
put them
popping
all.
up all over the
I just put them all in an email, and I thought before I put us in another pickle, I'll just ask that question first. But
Okay.
Eric, I think you are hearing the same thing over and over again, though, that enforcement is a big portion of it. So what can we enforce in that we have in place today, whether it be on 6th Street or on scooters? Are we going to start picking kids up for when we see them running stop signs or running haphazardly down the street? There's got to be some things we can do without having passed laws.
sure. From what I've been able to infer, which is a little bit confusing because the 321 code is the traffic code in Iowa, and they've basically said we may use the 321 code on, I don't remember how they worded it now, it's like pedestrian devices or something is what they've classified these as. We can use that. So if you're violating traffic law on a road, we can use regular traffic law with that. Most of our complaints in this area have been somewhat to do with traffic law and somewhat not to do with it. Probably the most complaints are just that people don't like them on the road or on the sidewalk. That's a little bit more difficult to enforce without an ordinance if that's something you want to address. And then enforcement of traffic law with minors under the age of 14 is somewhat difficult if they don't have a state issued ID. then there's not a system in place to do those citations. That doesn't mean we can't do them. It's just more difficult. And then speaking with juveniles in general about traffic law is a little bit more difficult because sometimes you want a parent there for some of the things, but some of the things we can do without a parent. But it's nothing that's impossible to do. We've already been making traffic stops on more commonly electric bicycles than scooters. That's where on patrol we've seen more issues. But we've had guys stop and just address dangerous behavior on scooters as well, just one-on-one, no citations or anything. And that seems to go pretty well for the most part. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I'm glad to hear we're starting to do something to enforce what we've got, not having to wait for.
Yeah, an ordinance, I would say an ordinance in general for anything like this is essentially a tool to help with voluntary compliance, even if you do an ordinance. The writing citations to children is not going to go over well. And we're already trying to address it with the laws that are in place. So, I mean, it really comes down to if that's something we want or not. But.
So in your recommendations, I'll be here curious if you can compile or give us some kind of idea what other communities doing for writing citations at underage kids. So
some of the ones that I've assembled.
You can just send it to us. I know everybody wants to get going, but just.
Yeah. Yep, I can do that.
Anything else, Eric? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Council to my left.
I do have one thing. I'd like to request that during the reporting segment of our either next meeting or the meeting after that we get a report from Steve Halgren on ordinance enforcement in order to get an idea of where we're at, what's ongoing, what we've gotten accomplished. So if you could do that, I'd appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, since you brought it up, I don't think they went out today, but there are 23 letters are in process that we received from him today. So if Cindy didn't get them out, they'll go out tomorrow.
Okay.
He was in town yesterday.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was going to put that, what Terry's talking about is the Board of Adjustment decision was challenged by Aaron Dvorak, and we did win that in court. I'll attach that to the next council agenda. I got a note here along with Daryl's letter, so that you can all see that as well.
Getting back to Eric here, what's the definition of a sidewalk? To walk on. I mean, why do we gotta have motorized scooters and bicycles? If that's gonna be the case, then here comes in play on 6th Street. The school is supposed to.
Daryl, if you're gonna speak, come to the mic, please.
Okay. The school years ago was supposed to put a sidewalk in across on 6th Street by the football field and the ball fields and stuff. How come that's never been done? How come they don't have to put a sidewalk in? And if you would do the scooters and bicycles, have one or the other. Have them on our side of the houses or on the school.
If I recall, they were given an exemption from that way back.
Because they didn't have the funding. Well, when they can spend $33 million, I would say they got money to put a sidewalk in.
All right, that's a
You
discussion.
are right. They did get exemptions, but it was because they didn't have funds.
We don't really,
Saying it was right or wrong.
time is fleeting. Daryl, time is fleeting. We're not gonna get into that discussion today, but
But yeah,
it's a
I wanted to
discussion for
bring it
later
up.
on. Yep, I appreciate that.
And
But,
I thank you.
all right, thank you. So,
Chris, can I make one comment? Suggestion?
yes, please. A quick one.
Real quick.
Terry Broxma. Just a suggestion, as you go through this process, remember, the candidates are going to watch these recordings. And if I were interviewing, I would want a firm job description complete layout before we interview. I would want to know that my people that I'm hiring me, what they want from me. I'm afraid, as I've gone to 2 of them now, if I listen to this discussions, we don't really know. And when that happens, you're going to get a city manager candidate who's going to fill that management void and that leadership void on his own. And that may not be what you want. And I don't mean this as an insult to anybody. I know public service is tough. But man, when you're hiring the CEO, he should know what's expected of him when he comes to town. And you owe it to them to get that done so that when the hiring firm does their work, they can do a good job for you. Just my suggestion. Thank you.
Yeah. But I would say to you that I think the profile does lay that out pretty well. So, all right.
I think there's room for quite a bit.
So, okay, thank you. Any other council comments from your left, to my left? Anything from you, Jeff?
No.
Okay. The only thing I have, the Iowa Housing Conference is scheduled at the Iowa Event Center in Des Moines, September 9 and 10. I was looking through what seminars and such that are going, and it would be nice if somebody could go. I don't know if any of you are interested or available then. I am not. And maybe there are some leaders in the community that we might talk to. September 9 and 10. It's a 2-day event, but I'm just going to ask you to give that some consideration, given the fact that we are looking at the PAPE edition now and talking about housing always. It would be nice if we could have a couple of representatives there. I'm not putting it on just you, but if there is someone you think that would be good in that role, let's think about that a little bit. And that's all I have. So with that, I'll take a motion.
I do have a
Go
question,
ahead.
if I may. Has the complaint been dropped now with the one that?
Not officially.
Still has not.
It's on the agenda, but it hasn't. They meet on August 20 tomorrow.
Okay,
And it's on the agenda
okay,
to be withdrawn, but it's not official yet.
okay.
So I fully expect to hear from them soon.
We'll know by our
But-
next meeting, hopefully.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Thank you.
Mhm. Okay.
With that, I will make a motion to
All
adjourn.
right. Thank you. We have a second?
Okay. Support?
Okay. Roll call, please.
Kent.
Aye.
Eggers.
Aye.
Hamel.
Aye.
Wagner. April would be outstanding.